And welcome to the In-Game Boss Podcast. I am your host, Jeremy, a.k.a. your retro activist, a.k.a. your In-Game Boss, a.k.a. the return of the Mac, because we are back. Whew, it has been a month and some change, let me tell you. And, of course, returning with me is Mr. Jaron.
Hey, a.k.a. the evil of Aku, a.k.a. the grumpiest of bears, a.k.a. Happy to be alive, folks.
Yeah.
Oh, and aka looking like the homeless informant in a Mac film.
I hear that. So, this episode is actually going to be pretty quick for us. We will be back in a couple of weeks as we're going back into our normal bi-weekly rotation, and we'll do a proper welcome back episode and talk about what we really been up to during that time. But we do want to talk about some games that we been playing during our break and whatnot, and talk about a little bit of our favorite things that happened direct. So we are not going to go through every game that had been announced in direct because there's plenty of videos out there. So we do not want to just repeat everything they did. So we're just going to talk about things that stood out to us in the direct and then go from there.
I mean, we could repeat everything they did and do it better, but we won't. It's called the mercy rule. Because
we got stuff to do. So with that being said, what have we been playing? So I will go first. So I beat Borderlands 3 a while back. I started Borderlands 3 back in late December and got through it and went solo on it. And I enjoyed it a lot. I would argue that this is my favorite one out of the series. A lot of quality of life. I was talking to Jerome about it. We were going back and forth because I guess a lot of people in his group of friends prefer 2 over 3, and it's mainly because of Handsome Jack. And I argue that if Handsome Jack is the best thing that came out of that, then the gameplay is probably not as good as you remember. 3 has a big quality of life, and yes, the Children of the Vault that are kind of playing off the whole meta and kind of the Twitter kind of showmanship that they're doing. Yes, it's not the best thing, but it's not the worst thing either. There's a lot of other stuff I think that stood out that could be a little bit worse than that to me. Like, for instance, like your main character not being in any cutscenes during these moments. So it feels like that you work hard, but you're not even put in the cutscenes to really matter. So that kind of annoyed me a little bit. Like, they felt like that the characters did all the work, and you're kind of like, yeah. And then they bring you back in, like, thanks for saving us, Volholter. I was like, but you didn't have time to put me in the cutscene? All right. But, no, a lot of quality of life on the weapons. I think all the weapons are really cool in their own way. Regardless if you think you would get repeats, at least each gun feels a little bit more unique. And it feels like that if I played it again, I would get more different kind of guns. I think that these are the best perks for all these characters. All the characters have voice acting, so they interact more instead of being the silent protagonists.
Yeah.
All the characters from previous games get better spots in this one to me than the previous one. And for example, like when you play the very first Borderlands, those characters that you play as are very quiet and kind of boring. They don't even get fleshed out until the second game, where they're more on the sideline and they get bigger roles that connect with your next group of characters that you have. And then again, that gets crossover to the third one. So I think this one just did a great job of putting everything together. You got a more hub for your ship. You get to explore to different places. I think this is the best one in the series so far, and I hope that the next one will be good. And I'm not counting the Tiny Tina spinoff game. I'm talking about like the 4th one. So hopefully we'll see that for the next gen games.
Oh no, Wonderland. Tiny Tina's Wonderland, her D&D.
Yeah.
With guns.
And wands and all that kind of stuff. But I'm interested. I'm interested in that. But I told myself that after this game, I was going to finally start Fire Emblem 3 Houses. With that being said, I played a little bit and I stopped because I actually wanted to go play the GBA editions first to kind of just get in the zone. I know they're totally 2 different games in that way, but it's more of just getting the zone of the world of Fire Emblem. And I kind of wanted to play the GBA's ones for a little bit, just see how it is going into this one. And I'm playing the GBA one it's just called, I think it's called the Binding Light. So it's the first GBA Fire Emblem one before the next one. The next one's called...
the first one comes stateside.
For the GBA, yes.
Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the next one after, I think it's called like the Sacred Realm or whatever. So
it's either Sacred Dragon or Sacred Sword.
Yeah. And then, of course, the 3DS ones, but I didn't get a chance to get those. But anyways, I just kind of wanted to just play a little bit of those. And I'm liking it. I'm liking the Fire Emblems on the GBA ones. It's quick and simple. You know, you're just kind of strategizing where everything goes. Some pretty cool ideas they have in there. Long battles on certain parts. The permadeath can really pull your heartstrings because your AIs, your enemy AI are not dumb. They know they're playing to kill. And I guess when you make a mistake, it's more of like you should have known better more than they. It's like, it's not like they outsmart. I don't think they outsmarted you. I think they play on your mistakes.
Yeah, it's fair. They don't have a preternatural ability. The enemies don't have preternatural abilities.
Yeah, like for anybody that play Fire Emblem, it's more of just an open map, and you just pinpoint where your characters want to go based on their grid of how far they can go. That's just me kind of paraphrasing it. But for the enemies, here's the thing: the enemies are going to think exactly the same way you're going to think when it comes out dealing with the bad guys. So, for instance, like if the enemies are coming at you, the first thing they're probably going to do is go after the weakest people first, let alone the people that can do stuff other than swords and axe and lance. So they're going to go after your magic people, and they're going to go after your healer. It's up to you to protect them, but the moment they open, they are going straight for them, and they will take the hit from everybody else as long as they kill that healer, because they know, the game knows that you are never going to get that healer back until the story continues and you hope you find a new one.
They do smart targeting.
I have made those mistakes before.
Chess. It's like chess. You don't risk your valuable pieces unless you have to.
Mm-hmm. And I'm at the second half of the game, and this is where that any main character that dies now is a game over. And I have made that mistake a couple of times, so I had to redo my strategy, because you want to level up your characters, but you know that they're not strong enough sometimes, because it's cool that you can take one, but your enemies will know that, look, if we just throw 10 of them, he's not going to survive, guys. Let's just get him. So it can frustrate you, but it makes you better as you go through, and the battles get longer and longer as they go, because you're going to get a plethora of different characters, and they're spread in different parts of the map for the storyline. Especially at the beginning of the game, where you just put on the map and you just have to deal with what you have, until later on they'll have you where you can map out where everybody goes based on where they're set at. You can switch places with other people, but at the beginning, man, they just throw you in there for the storyline. But sometimes they'll give you a chance to kind of trade weapons with your teammates, and I'm talking about before the game before the match starts.
Yeah, it's a setup.
Because you can trade. Yeah, you can trade before. You can trade in the game itself, but it's better to do it before, and you can map out and see where all your enemies are and strategize how you want to go there. So, to me, it's an easier game to get into than, I would say, Final Fantasy Tactics, because Tactics kind of goes a little bit deeper down the rabbit hole of story building. Yeah. And it takes a while for the battles to kind of get going, because the thing about Fire Emblem, though, is when they start you with the game, that you kind of start pretty good with stuff. But Tactics, you really start bare bone, and you have to really level them up to go that. And speaking of that, Fire Emblem level up for this particular title, it's funny because they're saying at level 10, you can change your whole thing. And I'm like, man, I don't even think I'm going to ever make the level 10 based on this. Because, the story changes. I don't know who's going to make the cut next in the scenes.
You don't know who's going to die.
Yeah. And especially when the next chapter happens, the team that you built up, they lose. They're not going to have everything you have from the last part due to story. Because they'll say a year later, and it's like, wow, a year later, I gave my wizard a lightning book and a fire book and all this stuff. And then he came back to the group, and he's back to the lightning book. And I'm like, what happened to the stuff I got him? Stuff happens. So you have to be prepared for anything that's thrown at you.
Yeah.
So
Some of the earlier Fire Emblems are a little unforgiving, a little hard when it comes to that. Once you get to like Fire Emblem Awakening and then Fates, if you end up playing Fire Emblem Fates for the 3DS or anything like that, it's a little bit more. You can see why a lot of people are falling in love with the series. I mean, the older ones are good too. But when it gets to Fire Emblem Awakening and it introduces, additional aspects, or at least is a little bit more forgiving, it still has a permadeath, but it's a lot. You can really see what they're trying to do with it. And Three Houses, I guarantee once you start like really dig into Three Houses, you will see where the love really blossoms from.
Yeah.
It really is a chess match, and I mean, it's not like you have to think like 3 or 4 moves ahead, but you do have to think about what you do before it's like, okay, before I commit this unit to go take out that unit, I need to see what other units are around it that are going to swarm him. So, okay, maybe I'll put him up a bit, see if I can kite out or bait out that unit, and he's going to attack, and I'm going to retaliate, and then I attack and kill him. All right, cool. And and I do like how they put it to where you can't necessarily just cheese it. Like, oh, I have nothing but cavalry and that just runs roughshod, or I have nothing but knights and that runs roughshod, because everybody has a weakness.
Yeah, it's the rock paper system. I mean, rock paper scissors system. So you just have to learn what works and just be ready for any twists and turns that happen to you. I recommend going and trying out the old ones if you can find a copy of it. I think. Yes. If you're in the Fire Emblem and you just want to learn a little bit more about that world, go back and try the old ones. Just go play it with an open mind, because they're not going to have all the cool stuff that the new ones is. Of course, anybody that's really new in the gaming, just be prepared for that.
I mean, a lot of them you can play. Like Nintendo has it digitally. Like Nintendo has the original one. You can get that digitally for about $5 or $6.
Oh no, that's gone. That was a limited time. That was a limited time back in early November. It stopped way back. Yeah, it was a limited time. Don't know why, but it was around.
It'll come back.
Yeah, it'll come back. But it was around the same time with the Mario collection. It was around that time.
Yeah. Time. Everything's turned to time soup for me.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. I still need to finish the GameCube one. That one. That gets crazy. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, and then I've been playing a couple of indie games. I'm playing Blaster Master right now too, the first one. In that one. It's fun. It's a little slow on the overhead views when you're going into different facilities, because the game switches from you're basically going through the world as a car, but when it comes to entering certain caves or certain tunnels to go to explore areas, you're walking everywhere shooting, and you can't run or anything. So hopefully the second one and third one, they kind of fix that problem. But for $5, I got nothing to complain about. It's fun for what it is. I always wanted to try Blaster Master, so here's my chance to give it a try. And it's fun for what it is. I like it for what it is. And I think other than that, the last one I'll talk about, shout out to Bree. We finished the game I mentioned a while back on the show. I forgot already. Jeez.
What,
It Takes Two.
Scrub?
It Takes Two.
Oh, yes. Brandy and I started that a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
We still need to finish. We're at the squirrels versus the wasps.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, you're still at the very beginning. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You're still at the beginning.
Yeah, I was like, man, depending on how long this game will be, these puzzles aren't too bad,
but they're fun. There's a really
no, they are fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm guessing she's May. Am I right? Yeah. So after I finish that whole game, I'm not gonna spoil for you, but it's what me and Bree were predicting it was gonna be, and we were not happy by it, in our opinion. Just
say no more.
Yeah, just the story wise. But doesn't mean the gameplay wasn't fun on the way there. Like, all the games are fun. Like, every mini game, it never gets old. They're always throwing something new at you without you knowing what's going on. It never felt like there's a lot of repeats of anything. They managed to like just throw so many things at you. And I was telling her, it gives you a really Nintendo feel. I can feel like a Mario and Luigi doing this on an adventure game. Not so much of like in the love aspect, but them to like saving princess, but they have to work together to do all this stuff that Bowser or whatever. I could see this happen in a Mario and Luigi way. I thought it'd be pretty cool.
Oh yeah, I mean, it kind of takes one of the Mario and Luigi DS or GBA or 3DS games and kind of turn on its head or make it more action based.
Mm-hmm.
But say no more. I will say after she and I finish It Takes Two, I think I'm going to try and get her to play A Way Out.
Yeah,
that was the first game they worked on.
Yeah, well, second one, because I think the first one was Brothers. Is that right?
I think the team worked. Well, now I got to look this up. I think the team worked on it, but not under that studio.
Okay.
Now I gotta check. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons. Okay, so the developer was Starbreeze Studios and five. So no, it wasn't the same. I'd be surprised if it was.
Maybe that guy is the same that helped out with it, and then he created his own team for the other two. That could be a possibility.
Yeah, I think that might have been what happened. But yeah, I remember I played Brothers, and that was like, oh man, you got to have like no soul or no feelings or a heart of stone for that game to not affect you.
Yeah. So as soon as you beat it, then I would love to sit down and tell you my full thoughts about that game and our journey and hear your opinion. Like I told you my opinion a while back, but you might have forgot what I said there. And maybe that's good. And then now you can just kind of go at it blind, and then I can tell you my full thoughts and see if you agree or disagree and whatnot. So
yeah, Hazelight Studios, they're the people who did It Takes Two and A Way Out.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. But yeah, I look forward to it, and yeah, I'll pick your brain about it. I'll let you know as soon as we finish it.
Okay. What about you? What have you been playing?
Not as much as I'd like. I've been a little under the weather the last few weeks, so you'd think I'd be able to get some gaming done. No. I'm still on that fighting game Tekken grind.
Mm-hmm. I see you pop up once in a while on Steam. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm ranking up. I'm now in the top, like, online at least. I'm in the top 10 to 12% of players. Mm-hmm. But I've been playing that, been training with some of the guys. But I've also started a new game, or I picked up this game a few days ago, Sifu. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of Dark Souls light because it's much more forgiving than Dark Souls, but somehow it's so difficult. It's like Sekiro. It has a posture system like Sekiro. And different moves, you have to decide if you want to deflect them, if you want to avoid them, or if you want to completely dodge out of the way. And I swear, like, the game is awesome. It is like watching or participating in your average kung fu movie or martial arts movie. It even has some of the set pieces of your staple movies. You have your trashy apartment block or rundown slums. Including a fight that reminds you of The Raid, the hallway fight in The Raid. Mm-hmm. You have a couple of those. You have your fights in an office high-rise. You have your fights in a club, including a fighting arena, fights in a museum. So for those who aren't familiar, the game is you are, a martial arts student looking for revenge. Well, the kicker is you're not expected to succeed on one life or to go all the way through, like whatever. When you die, you can resurrect, but you get older. So the more you die, the faster you get older. Ultimately, until you reach your 70s, which that's your last life. So it is like Sekiro. Shadows die twice. You get back up and you keep fighting. But the older you get, the stronger you get, but the less health you have. So you go from an all-around balanced character to a glass cannon. and you learn new moves. You learn new moves, but if you die and have to start over, you lose all the moves you learn, unless you invested 5 to 6 times as many experience points to permanently learn that move. So if you find a move that works, you better hurry up and permanently learn it, because you are going to die. You're going to die. There's already people posting up speed runs like, oh, I did a 20-year-old, I never died speed run. I was like, I mean, believable, but I'm pressing X for doubt. So, but yeah, it is really fun. That's actually after we're done here, I'm gonna actually stream it a little bit, and I've been playing it for a while, but I'm going to stream it some more, because the better you get at it, the more you can make it look more like a smooth martial arts.
See, I didn't know it was on PS4. I thought it was PS5 only.
Well, they were advertising on PS5 only, but yeah, it's PS4, PS5, and PC.
Okay.
So, and I mean, it's a decent price, $39, So obviously, going to be able to catch it on sale and get it, maybe $20, $25, but it's a good get for $39. It's a solid buy.
So how far have you gotten in the game per se?
I have made it. So this is what kind of pissed me off. The other night I was struggling with the museum, and I finally made it through the museum, which is the 3rd stage. There are only 5 stages, but they're broken up into so many sections, so it doesn't feel like it's a short game. I made it to the boss of the 3rd stage, and I thought I beat the first section of that boss. Like, every boss you fight twice. Mm-hmm. I beat her the first time, and then the game glitched and didn't transition to the second battle. Oh. So I had to exit out.
That sucks.
It sucks, but. So this is what's cool, what makes the game, bearable, because I can see people getting frustrated. Now, you pick up items along the way that opens up shortcuts. So you can actually skip parts of the level. Even if you die and start all the way over, you can skip parts of the level so you don't have to fight some of those enemies or hard encounters, and actually save some years on your life.
Okay.
The downside is fewer fights, fewer XP points. And there are also little shrines that you can use to get little power-ups. You don't always encounter those shrines if you take the shortcuts. So it's kind of like what do you want to do?
Everything is a catch-22 by the sound of it.
Yeah. Well, it's like, hey, it's up to you. You got to make a choice. Do you want to master this level, master it so much you can go through all of it, collect all the experience points, and power up and buy more abilities? Or do you want to just go straight to the boss and try and beat the boss and stay as young as possible? So, because when I originally first played it through, I couldn't even make it past the 2nd level.
Oh, wow.
Like I started out, I go into the 2nd level, like 20 something in the club. It's called the club. And I was joking. I was like, man, all right, cool. And I kept dying. I was like, man, I can't be no 40-year-old dude up in the club. No. And by the time I struggle bust to the boss, I was like in my 60s. I was like, oh, this is not going to work. So, so it doesn't force you, but it encourages you to master the levels, master the art of avoiding, deflecting, memorize enemy attack patterns, and utilize the environment. Like, you don't have to stand and fight every single person in a crowd. There are options. Maybe you can talk your way out of a fight. You can avoid a fight. Maybe you're smart enough to move around. Don't let them surround you, because you're not Itmon. Don't let them. I mean, unless you're really good, you can be Itmon. Don't let them surround you. Move around. Throw a bottle at one. Take a bat to the other. Kick a chair.
I saw one clip. Somebody made a bunch of them follow them, and then he just tossed them off off a ledge.
Yes,
as a good strategy.
Off a ledge. Yeah, and it's an auto kill on most of them. If you stun them, you can then shove them off or throw them over the railing, and and if you do it as part of a really cool combo against, it's like, bam, deflect, pow, 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 bam, deflect, throw over the edge. It really looks good when you put it all together. It's a ballet. It becomes a ballet.
I wonder if this game down the road is going to be one of those best kept secret games. You know what I mean? Yes, it's popular now, but let's say 4 or 5 years from now, would Sifu still be talked about? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if they're going to add more DLC to it. Maybe a Sifu 2 might come. I don't know.
They did already say that they're going to do DLC. They're going to do additional adventures. They're going to build onto it. But I don't see it kind of becoming I don't want to say it's not going to become a cult classic. It's a good game. It's getting great reviews. I think with you ask a good question because it could go one of two ways. It could either go the way of it's a great game, but people play it, or the people who want to play it, and then they beat it, and then that's it, and they don't come back to it until there's new content or whatever. Or people play it, but then, your streamers, your content creators kind of keep it up in the public light or prop it up. Okay. And it gets bigger and bigger. Kind of like what happened with Among Us a couple years back. Mm-hmm. Among Us was out for a while, and then it was discovered by content creators, and it just blew up. And now you have, that Goose Goose Duck and things like that are coming out. So, either could happen. Whichever way, Sifu is a very good game. I think it's going to be underrated, and the fact that it's, at least on the PC, it's like $39. That's a pretty good buy. Yeah,
especially with the Steam Deck also coming out this month, I believe.
Oh yeah,
that'd be a pretty good game to try out on there.
Yeah, for those who really, got to get the Steam Deck, that would be an excellent game to run on there. And I was watching some product reviews for the Steam Deck, or not reviews, but kind of reviews. And they were legit when they meant like the battery life lasts a good while. So,
anything else?
Yeah. Well, this kind of leads into our topic, but I have been playing the demo for Triangle Strategy.
Okay. All right. With that being said, as people know, a couple of days ago, actually it'll be last week by the time you hear this episode, is the Nintendo Direct happened, and it was once again jam-packed with a bunch of games to have you prepared for this first quarter of the year, from February all the way to, I think the latest one was July, I want to say, so around September. Yeah, you're right, yeah. September. So yeah, with that being said, go ahead and talk about the demo that Triangle Strategy just announced.
Yeah. So what I love about Nintendo is they, and I've said it before, they play a lot of their cards close to the chest, and they don't really reveal them until it's like, by the way, coming out next month. Mm-hmm. Or, hey, this is coming out in 2 months. Or, hey, guess what? Play it later today. So what they did with Triangle Strategy was, it's like, hey, it's coming out in March, but you can play the updated demo today up to Chapter 3 and take your save progress over to the game. Kind of like Dragon Quest 11,
And I believe Octopath Traveler also did that too.
Yes. You can do that with Octopath Traveler as well. So, but I was like, okay, Triangle Strategy, I remember when they first announced it in a direct about, 2 years ago? I think 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about it even then. And I was like, okay, it looks interesting. I'm going to keep an eye on it. Well, I'm glad I skipped the first demo because people said, it's too slow. This demo, it starts out more like Final Fantasy Tactics. And it mixes Final Fantasy Tactics with a multiple path, a choice system, kind of similar to a little bit to Fire Emblem, but it remains to be seen how much of a weight the choice has. But it's called your convictions. You have 3 convictions: utility, morality, and liberty. Pragmatism, what's morally right, and fuck it, I want to be free, no matter what. I want to, do things myself. So depending on your answers, it shapes your character's convictions. And then apparently later, it's supposed to also shape the people around you's convictions and put your story in different directions. Okay. So that's for replay value. So as mentioned before, the battle system is very much like Final Fantasy Tactics. The grid system, you can move around it. You can swirl around the screen, but it's isometric view. The characters all have different abilities. You have your sword fighters, you have your rogues, You have your magic users, your healers, your archers. And, you really use the terrain. Like if you're higher up on terrain, if you have the high ground, everybody looks like Anakin Skywalker to you. You're just either raining down arrows or you're attacking someone on lower and you do more damage. If you have someone flanked, like directly flanked, not diagonally, but directly flanked, and you hit them, the other person gets a free follow-up attack. So you can set up strategies with that as well. One thing I didn't notice they adjusted the AI. The AI is not as aggressive. Like the first battle, if the AI, and I think it played into the story, but if they were a little smarter, they could have just wiped my team out. They're not as killer bloodthirsty like in Fire Emblem.
Right. Uh-huh.
But I think that's good because some of the situations the game puts you in would be near unwinnable if so. Because you're outnumbered, 2-1 in some battles. And, of course that would wipe you out. And nobody is, there's no permadeath. Like someone can get, knocked out. And if you finish the battle, they'll be back.
They'll be in the locker room waiting.
Yeah. So that works. The story started off slow, but by the middle of chapter 2 to the end of chapter 2, it was starting to grow on me. They were developing the characters. They were saying, okay, well, this character's this character's that. You could tell who's going to be the asshole, who's going to be the assholes or whatever, who you're going to conflict with. But it's teasing this carrot of, some enemies may become friends. Some friends may become enemies. It depends on how your convictions line up. Some people may join you. Some people may leave you. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else this game brings out next month after I finish the demo.
It always makes me wonder one day maybe a Fire Emblem and Final Fantasy Tactics will do something together in the future.
That would be interesting. I don't know if Square is going to be that cool or Nintendo is going to be that cool. Nintendo will do it. They worked with Atlas.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, as long as they're hands on, and their relationship with them is pretty good when it comes to the RPG front. I don't know. It could be a cool thing. I'm not saying that it's not impossible, but I mean, I wouldn't if it never happened. I'm not surprised either. Yeah. So,
I mean, it would be a cool thought because it's like, okay, do we do a Fire Emblem game in a Final Fantasy Tactics style, or do we do Final Fantasy Tactics in a Fire Emblem style?
Or it can be a Fire Emblem game with the look of a Final Fantasy style. You know what I mean? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, less anime, a little bit, a lot less anime, because the Fire Emblem games, especially the one of them that was announced was the Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Hopes, which is basically Fire Emblem Warriors, Three Houses. They're leaning into that anime look.
Yeah, I would make it like it would be like the Shin Megami series that they did with Fire Emblem. It'd be like its own spinoff, like a wishful worlds collide kind of game.
Yeah, Yeah, they're not intrinsically linked, but you see the inspiration. It's like, oh, it's Crom.
Yeah. Yeah, get your favorites in there and have fun with it. It can be a classic phone. So talking about games that stood out, of course, you probably heard me on the show a while back if you've been following us for a while. Xenoblade Chronicles is one of my favorite series from Nintendo they have done, and one of my favorite RPG series and whatnot. I mean, back there you can see the Xenoblade Chronicles definitive edition on the Switch and whatnot. I haven't even got to that yet. Like I said, my back catalog is huge, and I bought 3 Houses before that game, so I'm going to play 3 Houses. So anyways, we got the third one being announced, and it's supposed to take place between the first one and the second one, kind of tied up, kind of the loose end and questions that you have. And it looks good. It looks good because people feel like this is actually the first official Switch Xenoblade game, because they believe 2 was kind of felt like that it was going to prepare for maybe Wii U, and then it didn't, and then they just moved it to the Switch, which, I don't really care. But this one looks pretty good. It's different. Apparently, flute is going to be one of the main key themes of this one. And I'm excited to see where the characters are going to go. I'm excited to see which characters to develop and where the twist. But I'm always excited for the open world because I always like Monolith Soft's way they do their open worlds. It's always kind of jaw-dropping just sitting there watching that stuff watching all that stuff from the distance, knowing you can go there. On top of that, it's running on a Switch. And it's like, you guys, like, right there is like art can really make a game look good on not graphically console. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, it doesn't have to be photorealistic to be a beautiful game.
Yeah. So, I was really excited about that. I know that you mentioned before you haven't really got a chance to dip into those. Granted, one of them you can't find a copy of, but hopefully, you know, one day you'll give it a try, and then maybe 3 will be something down the road if you find a copy of that one. Because I know that 2 is tough to find now, I guess, nowadays, especially the Torna game one. And the 3rd one, I know it's going to have a special edition. I'll probably get that special edition, so that way I just have it. Because I know it'll be worth a lot later on.
We know what you're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, at a good price. I'm not going to drop like a over a hondo for that thing. So
unless it comes with a cool statue.
No, you know, I'm not a statue person. You know what I mean? I'm not. I mean, Amiibos is like the closest to me, but I'm not. Look at my place, man. I don't have room to put a freaking statue in here. No, that statue is going to be a coat rack too. That's what it's going to be. So,
I mean, I'll build you a shelf.
I know you. I know over there, Mr. Carpentry. Anyways, another game that stood out to me, like I said, this is the Renaissance / RPG games of this direct, because Nintendo's becoming an RPG powerhouse. There's a lot of RPG games on this console, like a lot, and a couple of them that got announced are no exception. Live Alive is a game I always been interested a while back. I have the ROM, and there's an English translation for it that you can find. I'm not going to tell you how, but you can find it. And I played a little bit of it, but I was caught up with so many stuff I didn't get a chance to really invest into it. But this one here, I mean, that HD 2D looks amazing. I know sooner or later it is going to wear people out. You know, kind of like you with the whole retro style,
pixel.
The retro pixel thing. You know, it's kind of wearing you out. I can see HD 2D doing the same thing for you too, but I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet, so I'm liking it. I do want to give this game a try. I heard it's really cool. Several different stories all come together. One, I'm pretty sure this is the game that inspired Octopath Traveler. Apparently, Toby Fox said this is a game that helped him inspire for Undertales, which I like Undertales. So I'm very excited for this. I might try to find a physical copy of it by looking at Play Asia. I did go look at some a couple like yesterday, and I saw a copy of it pre-ordered, and I'm like, okay. And it, you know, there is regional all language, which I think like mostly every Switch game has every language now that I think of.
Yeah,
but
it's considered portable, so it works.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
So I am very excited for that game. I think that game looks great. What's your thoughts on the Live Alive?
It looked interesting. I will need to see more of it. I think it's great that they are revisiting multiple RPGs from the 16 and 32-bit era, which we'll get to that in a moment. I think I've heard of Live Alive in passing, but not, you know, enough for it to stick or for it to just like, oh, that's cool. But it looks interesting. And I don't know where I'd place it on, if it's like a must play to me. But I'll have to look up some more, you know, about it.
Yeah.
Hell, I still got to play Grandia, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
these are 60 to 100 hour games.
Yeah. Especially like I recently got the remaster of Grandia and Grandia 2 on my Steam, so I'm definitely going to try to go through those. But with that being said, I mean, this is not the only game that's never been released in America. I mean, this game is 30 years old, and now it's finally being released. But it's a good release in the way it was, because Front Mission 1 and in the future 2 has been announced. And I always wanted to try Front Mission 2, because I think now that I kind of getting into tactic games a little bit more, I can give these games a try and actually feel a little bit more comfortable playing them instead of just going in blind. Because Front Mission feels like that. It's more of the hardcore kind of games, because especially, I bet you DC is probably a fan of this series himself. I'll have to ask him. But this is a game where it's tactical, but you also have to worry about taking down certain parts of a machine, mechs, and all this stuff. Because I'm not going to lie, that intro at the beginning, I thought it was Armor Core. Hand down, I thought that was Armor Core. I was like, Armor Core's coming to the Switch?
Yeah, I thought it was Mech Warrior for a second. I was like, really? Mech Warrior? That's pretty bold.
Right.
Because that's a graphically intensive game.
But just to graphically looking at that too, I was just like, I thought it was a classic Armor Core being remade or something like that, or just a brand new one, But I'm excited to try those, and those are all coming around the corner. My wallet is going to hurt a little bit. That's why I got to save a little bit of money.
Oh, yeah.
I can't spend my taxes I got back, but I'm going to have to save some money and make some good choices and whatnot.
Yeah, that picture I sent you of someone in a choker, I was like, yeah, that's going to be your wallet.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
Yeah. No. That's, I
was like, does Front Mission interest you at all?
It interests me. I don't know if I'm going to pick it up day one.
Okay.
I know that non-first party games. I mean, because it's not only going to be on the Switch, it's going to be on probably PC and the console. So I might pick it up if it's on a sale or a discount, because I've never played any of the Front Mission games, and I also like tactics games. But like you got a bit of a backlog, so I don't mind waiting. I'm very choosy with my impulse. Buy now. So, but this year in general, not just the Nintendo Direct, this year in general is just going to be heavy.
Definitely heavier than last year. Last year felt like a couple of potholes on the way.
I mean, pandemic, all that other understandable.
Yeah, but it felt like that everything got built up for this year because, with Breath of the Wild around the corner. I mean, this year is just going to be crazy. Pokemon's already starting off the flag.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of this stuff that's coming out was actually set to come out last year. So a lot of it got pushed back. So we're basically getting 2 years packed into one.
So, Jaron, what did you think of the announcement of no Mario Kart 9, but Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, adding 48 more tracks, adding up to 96 tracks? 96 tracks.
DLC tracks.
Yes.
So this was my reaction when they announced it. I was like, y'all ain't never getting Mario Kart 9. Nintendo's like, we got your money. You don't like it? You're still going to buy it because it's Mario Kart. And either you or your friends or your kids are going to insist you get this. And I laughed. We were talking about it beforehand. It was like the only chance to do Mario Kart 9 is to do something drastic, like they bring the Double Dash stuff back, which would be awesome. But I like the idea of them bringing back the rest of the tracks across the other Mario Kart games, because some of my favorite tracks are on Mario Kart 64. And it would be interesting to see how that looks. I mean, I hope they touch the tracks up, obviously. But see how that looks now, especially with the new abilities. Am I going to get the DLC? Probably not, but it's cool that option's there. What about you?
I'll probably get it. I'll probably get it. Not day one, but by the time I decide to get it, then I'll have quite a lineup of tracks for me ready to go. I'm excited for it. I think it's a good price, and I think it's even better for people that are that got the expansion of the online. It kind of gives a little bit more value. Probably not so worthy of the price, but it's a good start, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about it off the air that we hope that we get that treatment happens for Strikers that got announced along with Splatoon 3. We hope that they get a roadmap that will add more to the expansion, that will give it more of a bundle to worth eating, worth trying out more.
You think if they had done this expansion pack back when they were trickle feeding out the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate Fighter packs, if they included those fighter packs in the expansion pack, you think that expansion pack would have taken off? I do.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It makes me think about it. Like the last stuff they did was ended by the Wii U, right? After, I think the only thing they added to the Deluxe was the battle mode. since
then.
And
they improved online and stuff.
Yeah, that's really it. But no new tracks coming into the deluxe that I remember. I mean, the F-Zero and Animal Crossing was out for the Wii U, if I'm correct, already. So with Excite Bike and all that stuff. So the fact that came out in 2017, we went 4 years with people fine with that being the best selling game on the Switch, probably still to this day. Now getting 48 tracks, it's almost like thanks for being a friend. Here's something we're going to do for you. We're still going to take your money, but at least we're giving you more value for holding it down. While we figure out what we're going to do at 9. So and especially for $25, basically, I think it's a good price. I think it's a good price for all these tracks.
Yeah, they're not going to be as they're not going to be predatory, because especially this last couple of years, we've seen so many companies act predatory and pay the price, but act predatory. And Nintendo, for all the recent news, them shutting down, various piracies, them hitting strikes on YouTube, Nintendo still knows how to get people hyped. And I knew this Direct would make a lot of people forget, about Nintendo's missteps. It's like Nintendo's got their hooks in you. You're going to give them your money. You're going to give them your money. One way or the other. So
I was trying to think what tracks they haven't done yet in my head that I would like them to see, and one I would like to see is from Mario 64. I like the beach level. I would like to see the beach one come back.
Cheap beach or something like that.
Something like that. I like that level. That was one that really stuck out to me. It was the last course in the Mushroom Cup, if I'm correct. So I really like that one. And then for dub, also too, I think Wario Stadium, I believe, got
Koopa Troopa Beach. You're thinking
that's what it is.
It was the next to last.
Course
in the Mushroom Cup.
Yeah, that's the one I really, really enjoyed. I really like that one. And then I think that's the only one off the top of my head. I can sit here and just think about what they haven't done, but we don't have that much time. But that's the one that just popped up at me the most. So, is there any tracks off the top of your head that you think they haven't done that you would like to see?
Honestly, I would like to see a version of the Ghost House. Maybe not Banshee Boardwalk, but that irked me. But I did like Yoshi Valley.
Okay.
Because that was like confusing, and it was one of those if you knew where.
I thought they did that one. I guess they didn't. I thought they did that one.
They might have. I might be mistaken. I just haven't played it. But let's see. I think they did do an updated version of Wario Stadium, or they did, or Wario had a second course that they did an updated version of.
Yeah. Okay.
I would like to see just old school Bowser's Castle.
Okay.
And honestly, Rainbow Road on Mario 64, that I may be wrong, but that felt like the longest Rainbow Road. Period. The longest.
Well, because you have to drive carefully. That's why.
I mean, unless you knew the special shortcut to drive right off, like jump off and land on the track.
And that one does exist. One does exist. There's that Super Nintendo Rainbow Road, I believe, is in 8. Because there's two different Rainbow Roads. One?
Okay,
I believe so.
I'd like to see the Mario 64 one.
I believe so. I could be 100%. People leave a comment down below. So,
but yeah, Mario 64 had about 24 courses, and then you could also drive it backwards. So technically 48, but 24 courses.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I can't count. 16 courses. 16 courses. Jeez.
It's been a long couple of months. We're all trying to get back into our flow. Now, a while back, I even posted this one point that I would love to see. I think out of all the games that would look good as a remake, I would say Chrono Cross was the game I thought it would look good as a remake or a remastered in a way. Because the reason why is there was an ad of Chrono Cross doing a crossover with another game, and you saw the intro of Chrono Cross with Surge, and it looks phenomenal. It looks great. And I saw that, I was like, if they make a remaster or remake like that, that's great. Sadly, we didn't get that. We got it remastered. It just looks more of an up-res sharp. Not disappointed, but it does add Radical Dreams. It is the game that kind of tells a story in between Trigger and Cross. So you kind of get the little middle ground, what's going on. We talked about that in one of our episodes, the World Gaming Trade Show, that I do with Brando from the Game Addict podcast. You can go check that out. We talked about what we like to see in a remake of a Chrono Cross game. Also, too, we have an upcoming episode, and it has one of Jaron's favorite characters that we're going to be talking about. We talked about Bunk. You'll be excited to hear about our thoughts about that. So anyway,
Bunk's coming back one way or the other. I'm predicting it.
But Chrono Cross, I think that was a game that was a hidden gem, and just like Wind Waker at the time, it was a game that really didn't get the best reception. People kind of just shitted on it for really harsh reasons and never really gave it a try. And now Cross, I think, is becoming a little more beloved, more of like with age and everything like that, because people are just like, we want more of this. We want more of the Trigger. We want more of the serious Link. And they learn that, sometimes different is good. But I can understand Cross might not be for everybody still, but I think it's worth giving a try. I do want to revisit Cross again. I want to see what the quality of life and the things they're going to do with Cross and see if it's worth the jump.
Yes.
Because if it's nothing different, then I'm just going to stay with what I have. But I have
that it is $20. It is going to be $20.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's not horrible.
No. Based on what I see here, it includes updates, the ability to turn off encounters and an enhanced soundtrack. So, like, turn off battles, that could probably help a little bit. That'd be kind of cool, I guess. I just have to get used to it because, like, games that look super sharp doesn't mean the game still looks good. But I want to support Cross, so I might pick it up. $20. Not the end of the world. Not the end of the world.
I want to see better video or better video evidence of how it looks, because from what I'm just kind of double checking, I'm reading it doesn't look like they did a full remaster of Chrono Cross. I mean, they're going to upscale it, and sharpen some graphics.
Kind of like 8, like they did with 8.
Yeah, I mean, 8 on the PlayStation. For people who do not know, 8 on the PlayStation looked rough. Like, I just want to just dig my nails in my face and just peel my face off. It looked rough. Mm-hmm. And Chrono Cross looked the same. It was very pixelated, trying to put the 3D characters in pre-rendered backgrounds. And it didn't look great, especially if you tried to play that on a modern console like a PS3 plugged into a new TV. It was just horrible. It was horrible. Yeah. So I hope they only have a couple of months. I hope they use it to polish up the graphics as best they can. But we should also keep in mind, this is also going to be coming to other platforms. So,
yeah, it'll probably look really good handheld mode, though. I can guarantee that. Yeah.
I really wish they would put in more quality of life. Maybe tighten up the battle system, because for those who don't know, battle system is not like Chrono Trigger.
No, not at all. Not at all. They're like in blocks, and you have to choose which. It's
stamina. How much stamina to do certain action.
Yeah. I like that battle system though, but doing it for every battle though, I can see why turning it off would do, because it's a lot of work, every single time, and you have to do that for 3 people every time. So.
Especially if you're in like a long dungeon that's, I don't know, confusing or tedious, and you're not getting a lot out of the enemies you're fighting. I'd turn that it's not even random encounters. You see the enemies on the screen.
That's true.
You can avoid them. But I would still turn that off and just like, nope, let me just get straight to the next story hook. And yeah, people were turned off by that. People were turned off by the fact that it had tenuous links to Chrono Trigger. People were turned off by the fact that some parts of the story got really freaking confusing. And also they were turned off by the fact there was 40 something characters, and a lot of the characters were just it was just variations of an accent.
Yeah, some of them were just there to be there. They did. Yeah,
they were just there to be there, and there wasn't really good character development. Like, you had the whole Cha family, Korcha and Macha and all those, the Cha family.
I will say this, just for the comfort of the first time playing that game, it was pretty cool at the beginning when you're at the end of the game, per se, and you're with Kid and a random third person. And then I think if you started over again, there's always a different third person, if I'm correct, every single time. So It kind of gives you a hint of there's more. It shows you like this what could happen, but you might not be when you play it, you might not end with these three. It might end something else. So I kind of like that a little bit. It kind of shows a little bit more. It doesn't make up the excuse of 40 characters. That's still too much, but still, it was kind of cool at the beginning that you could tell somebody like who was in the beginning with you, and
Well, and the kicker is, people understand time travel more or less. This regarded or played with alternate dimensions.
Yes,
but I guess with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness coming out, maybe people will be more receptive to multiple universes or something. But honestly, they could have done well with tightening up how they explained how everything tied in together. Because right now, you almost have to watch a whole YouTube video to really
well, that's what happens when you don't have the original people back for it. It's a whole different team, and they were just trying to carry the torch for the next thing. Still, though, the journey itself is still worth it to me because
the music
is fantastic. The whole tropical going to different areas is still great. You'll get some wild stuff in this game, but I think it's still worth your time. I think it's a really interesting game. So I definitely would say for $20, it's not that bad to me personally. And so
Brandy already said she's getting it for me for my birthday. So
nice.
She knows I like Chrono Trigger and Chrono Cross.
Well, since
I was one of the few of my age group who actually played Chrono Cross.
I got introduced to it. I was watching someone play it, and I'm like, I want to play that. Like, for better, for worse, I want to play it, And so, now, to the world, Game Arts, if you would be so kindly give us an HD 2D to a Lunar game, that would be amazing.
I try and tweet them every month, and I get people who like my tweets, but, I mean, the closest I saw to an acknowledgement was, hey, what's your favorite Game Arts game? And Lunar was on there, and it got a good portion of the vote.
No, if they dropped an HD 2D version of Lunar, that's a day one buy. Because I think that would be amazing what they can do with it. If they and they keep it animated, like it would be cool if the characters were like pure drawn animation, but the rest is like graphically. That'd be kind of cool. It makes itself stand out. Anyways, we said
it's so good. You're so good. You don't need to do anything with the
battle system
cinematics.
No, you don't.
Or the battle system. Tighten the cinematics up, make them properly upscale for bigger TVs, so they're not like 4:3 ratio. But the battle system, fine. I would dare say maybe put some elements from Lunar 2 into it, because in Lunar 1, certain spells just become completely useless later in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So, but Lunar. Especially if they do like they did with Grandia 1 and 2. They do Lunar 1 and 2. I'm just like, take my money.
So we know Kirby showed some stuff. Kirby looks great. I'm a little excited for it. But the other one I want to talk about is also part of the Renaissance, and I definitely want to probably find a physical copy of that, and it's the Klonoa series. I really want to try to dip in a little bit more into that series, so this is my chance to do it in a new way. I mean, Klonoa, this is the third time it has been ported to a console since like the remake on the Wii, and 2 never got really I don't think it got really a treatment either, but this one right here looks really cool. Shout out to Metroid Mike. But I do want to find a physical copy of this. I always liked Klonoa, I just never got into it. And now I think I need to put up or shut up. So if I buy the physical, it will force me to really sit there and enjoy for what it is.
Yes.
Are you a Canola fan yourself?
Never played it. It looks fun.
Gotcha.
That platformer game from Namco. You know, back in the PlayStation 1 era, everybody had a platform game. Tomba, Klonoa, Rayman, all that stuff. Never played it.
Okay.
Never played it. It looks fun. I might try it, but it's probably going to be like I caught it on sale kind of thing.
Okay. That's all the games I'm excited about. Is there any other games that stood out to you that you're excited for?
Well, regarding that, I mean, they already announced the Advance Wars.
Yeah, and I already talked about it a long time ago. I'm super excited for that. That looks great.
They delayed it, but I can see why it looks better. The Kirby Forgotten World, I think, was it Forgotten World?
Land.
Yeah, the Kirby game, the new Kirby game.
Forgotten Lands. Yeah.
Yes. Oh God, that's the Balan Wonderland, Wonderworld thing all over.
Yep.
But Kirby, that looks fun. If I end up playing that, that'd be the first 3D Kirby game. I never played Kirby 64, but that would be the first Kirby game. But Kirby games will always sell a certain amount, so you know, we'll see. I'm trying to think if there's anything, because even if it's tiny, like I dug the Fire Emblem Three Hopes, the Musou spinoff. Fire Emblem Warriors Three Hopes. That looks like that could be interesting. Probably not going to pick it up immediately. I'm going to do like Fire Emblem Warriors and wait for a sale. Unless they have a really cool special edition pack, then I might pick it up. You know, Mario Strikers, No Man's Sky, who cares?
No Man's Sky, wait, before we go on, I'm not rooting for No Man's Sky because I played it. I enjoy for what it is and everything. But I am curious how it's going to run on that thing. That's what I'm curious about. I'd be very impressed by Hello Games if they can pull this off and run really well on that Switch. That's all I want to say about that.
That's going to be
that's a great portable game. That would be a great portable game.
If they're able to get that portable and you're able to run properly off of, even better, if they can make it run properly off of ad hoc mode to where you and like 4 or 5 friends can sit around on your Switches and actually explore worlds together and fly around, that would be choice.
Yes.
But we'll see. I mean, Hello Games has turned around that ship before. And I said ship, people, ship. They've turned it around before when No Man's Sky originally came out, because I remember I was amped for it, and then, you know, I don't know if I sent you that Jurassic Park, you know, it was like the harmonica, the busted harmonica. But yeah, it was bad. And then they turned it around the last few years, and now it's like a must play. All the video game stores that were trying to liquidate it for like $5 to $10, then hike the price back up to $30 again. Yeah, so that looks interesting. Oh, Switch Sports. You know,
I know who it's towards. It's not towards me.
They're trying to get that install base built up again.
I mean, with the record now close to beating PS4, it beat the Wii record. Yeah. Why not? There's enough out in the wild. Why not? I mean, I don't see it flopping. I see it maybe not hitting the number they expected, but I don't see it flopping.
And the fact that, you know, they added some games and they probably didn't have to put too much development time into it. They're like, here you go. It's fine. We know it's going to sell a certain amount. We're not worried about it. It's going to sell like gangbusters in Japan, and anybody who has a Switch, because their install base is so huge, you know, parents are going to maybe be tempted to pick it up, saying, "Oh, I remember Wii, yeah." Of course, you know, Mother and Earthbound are on Switch Online.
Shout out to every person that were hoping for a third one that will never come. Good for y'all, because I honestly, when I was watching the video, I was like, all right, here we go again. Here's these two. All right, now come on, just mess with us and not show us 3. And it almost got me. Until Live a Live showed up, because there was one part of Live a Live where they showed this little town in the distance, and it said Legend, and I was like, no, Earthbound's getting a 2D HD, and no, I was wrong. I was like, because I almost figured we would get a remake of Earthbound before we get 3 ported. I feel that's the case.
I'm just laughing because Nintendo control you so much. Like, hey, we've listened, we've heard you. You like Mother? How about Mother 1 and 2?
Yep.
Again.
Yep.
But I mean, it's cool because you know what? There is a retro gaming community, and Earthbound is still expensive as shit.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a way for people to legally play it, you know, and for it to find a whole new audience, you know. So that's good. That's good.
I like to try beginnings. I never play beginnings. I like to try beginnings.
Neither have I. I have to really build up the courage to try Earthbound again because every time I try it, I'm just like.
I had to play with a guide. And I had to cheat. And when I mean cheat, I had a lot of safe spots because that battle system is tough.
It's rough. Yeah, you can actually get a kill shot. As long as you get to your character to heal up before the roller counts to 0, you can actually survive. Yeah,
but it is worth the journey if you have the time to do it. The journey in the story is really cool. I love the journey. It goes nuts where the journey goes. But
Nintendo did make the player's guide available for free in PDF form.
That's good for them. That's a good decision. I do recommend anybody that never played Earthbound before and wondering what the whole big about it, play it, but have patience. If you don't have the patience for the battle system, I can understand you walk away. But if you stick with it, it's a really fun journey and with a lot of twists and turns, especially that ending. That ending got me. I didn't see the ending coming on certain points. And I was like, that's weird. All right, let's see where this goes. So.
Yeah, it definitely feeds into the trope about JRPGs. That's for certain. Mm-hmm. And of course, Triangle Strategy, which we talked about earlier, March 4th. I don't have it pre-ordered. I'm probably not going to pre-order it because there's no point to do that, you know. But I am going to pick it up either on release or a little bit after. I haven't decided if I'm going to do physical or digital. I've been slowly leaning into more digital stuff. Like I got Metroid Dread physically, but a couple of other games digitally.
Are you going to take a chance on the One Life update on that Metroid Dread?
Fuck no.
I don't blame you. I don't have time.
Do I look like some hardcore content creator that is making stuff just to be? Do I look like one of those I'm playing through this game without getting hit once kind of people? Hell no. No, we talked about this multiple shows ago. If Metroid Dread had a story mode, I'd put it on that. You know, I'd put it on that and go through it. It needs to be glad I played it the way it is and played through it. That's it. But great, that free update. Cool. Thank you, Nintendo. I'm not touching it.
If there's nothing else, I think we should get ready to wrap this up.
Yeah, I mean, there's more stuff, but nothing worth really bringing up that really going to get people excited.
Yeah, but you too can go watch a direct yourself and just watch some of the stuff and have your own opinions about it. But leave a comment down below. What games were you excited and whatnot? But with that, I want to thank everybody for joining us on this particular episode. When we come back on a new episode, we will be starting up the season like traditionally. Tell you what we've been up to the months that have passed, and talk about what our topic is going to be. We're excited to talk about the games we talk about. We have a new style we're going to be trying out. A lot of our shows are coming back in a different way. Our movie podcast, our World Gaming Trade show. We do have like 2 bonus episodes. I'll call them bonus now because we have to stop for a while. We have 2 bonus episodes of the Captain Sessions coming out, so you can enjoy those. And then, of course, Jaron and I will be back with our gaming show, Buddy Up Gaming. We got new episodes coming soon from our RPG show. Just more coming back in a way. And then I'll be able to talk a little bit about my special project that I've been talking about for a while and talk about what I'm trying to do with it. And I can't wait to share a little bit more of that. But
he's been working very hard on this, folks. I've been privy to it, you know, through multiple steps, and he's put a lot of passion, a lot of energy, a lot of his soul into it. So
let me tell you, I am relaxed because now production is kind of done for now. And I can just kind of chill a little bit, catch up on some shows and whatnot before I get right back in working on some more stuff in there. I finished like Succession. I've been rewatching Attack on Titan again, so I can watch the new episodes. It's just
I fell off after season 3, Attack on Titan.
That's fine because season 4 is the final season anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, then I'm halfway through season 3. Then I messed up. I'm halfway through season 3.
There you go. There you go. But anyways,
yes, special guest appearance by Brandy.
Yeah. But anyways, I want to thank everybody for watching us. We are back. We are ready for 2022. And we'll see you next time. See ya.
Peace.
Stage clear. Let's go.
Nintendo's new high score.